Hey everyone, it's December 19th, and I can't believe it. It is gorgeous out this year. This is the best winter we've had since we've been out here. Yeah, it's like 85 degrees on the Tell-Tru, and it is nice and warm in the sun. So that's good for me because today I'm going to be putting an oil pump back in the Chevy truck there, the GMC 3500. So let's get to it. Alright, just to get caught up with where I am with the truck, I got the engine lifted, and I got the oil pan dropped out. Alright, so the engine has been on this lift for a couple days now, and it looks to me like it hasn't budged at all, so that's really good. I was hoping to get a shot in here of the engine mount for you. But yeah, I think you should be able to see it from there. But I don't know if you can see it or not, but you can see the marks where it was, and you can see it's only like maybe half an inch up or so. So it ought to fall right back down into place and be able to get those engine mount through bolts back in pretty easy, which is nice, because usually this is one of the more difficult things, trying to line something this heavy up and get it in place. So that should go pretty good for me. So yeah, I'm going to crawl underneath the truck and be right back. Alright, safety first. So I got a couple jack stands underneath the frame there, just in case air would leak out of the tire or something. It won't crush me. It's always a good idea to use jack stands whenever you're underneath anything, really. So I'm going to crawl underneath and get that oil pump out, so be right back. Alright, before I take this old pump out, I just wanted to get a shot of the drive shaft to the pump. And you can see, I don't think I can get my hand up there, but yeah, you can see there's kind of like a brass bushing, or yeah, over that shaft. So yeah, I definitely want to take note of that. And let me bring the camera around. So, and I think those other two smaller holes, I think they're like little dowel rods for you to line it up. So, yeah, I was expecting 2 bolts underneath here. So that's probably, I probably don't have it. There it is. Wow, 5/8. So there you go. The oil pump bolt is 5/8. Oh yeah, it's on there good. Get this can out of my way. Wow. I don't like that. It's definitely the right size. There it goes. Oh, it was on there good. I think that's out. Alright, there it is, and here comes the shaft. Let's see, get my shaft, will just come with it. Good, it won't fall. So there it is, that's not too bad. Alrighty, I got the old pump out, and I got it next to the new one. And yeah, they are exactly the same. And here's the oil pump bolt, just one bolt. So yeah, I don't know if this looks like plastic, but anyway, we need this drive shaft, and it looks like the shaft, or that plastic piece, is kind of like a coupler to help hold that on. So I'm going to pop that off. I don't know how good of a shot I'm going to be able to get at this, but it doesn't always work so good. Oh. Sounds like that snapped. Yeah, it did. You would think after it snapped it would come off nice and easy, right? There it goes. Well, that's not good that I snapped that. So it looks like I might have to glue this back together. I'll have to clean it off really well. I'll just use some CA glue, some super glue. Yeah, it's got a little ridge in there. Wonder if they gave me, I'm going to see if they gave me one in the box. Let's see. That would have been nice, but I don't think they did. It was just, yeah. That's kind of crappy of them. That's going to go into that little ridge. This guy's going to have to pop into it. Yeah, now I'm kind of worried about it. If I should really glue it back together. Alright, I got the pump side by side. I need to put the, where is it? The new oil screen in, and I want to put it in the same way the old one is. And even if I didn't pull it out to, you know, to check the angle and stuff, you can see that the screen is parallel to the pump, you know. I know I've seen a lot of videos where they make a big deal out of it, and they got it in the engine block and they want to get it perfect, but as long as it's parallel to the pump, it's going to be right where it's supposed to be. So I don't think I'm going to be able to get this on camera, but I'm going to try and hammer this in. I think I'm going to get an adjustable wrench to go over the flare and hammer on that to get it in, to, you know, to hammer this thing in. So I'll be right back. Alright, so I'm going to try and press this oil screen in. We'll see how this goes. So first thing you want to do, glad I remembered this, is I want to get a little bit of oil and oil this up to help with pressing that in. Alrighty, I didn't even realize it. I had my good friend WD-40 here. So I'm just going to spray a little WD-40 on here. This will lubricate and help. Just need a little bit. Get it a little wet. But yeah, I didn't realize this, but I think WD-40 is technically a solvent. So not only does it lubricate for stuff like this, once it gets in, I guess it'll really lock it in. Alright, so that's that looks pretty good. Yeah, it really doesn't even want to start too well, so usually you can start them by hand enough, but this one's being exceptionally difficult. And this seems a little tighter than it should be as well. Got it started. So that's never going to work unless I yeah, it's going to be one of those days. I should probably sand this down a little bit. Oil on there. Whew. Alright, that's started. A little bit of dent on that tube, but what else are you going to do, right? Probably knock it loose doing this. And looks pretty good. As long as I keep driving it in straight, that should be perfect. Definitely need that inertia. Like a small sharp tap. Getting there. Just about there. Yeah, I really don't know if you need to weld this. I don't think I will. The other one wasn't welded. Very close. So there you go. I do want to try and get this flange all the way against. Like anybody would want to, right? Because everybody's obsessive. There we go. Yep. Looks to me like it's all the way against. Good enough for me. And looks perfectly parallel to me. So that's awesome. I'm going to throw this back in. And almost done here. Alright, I was looking at these pumps real quick before I throw this other one back in. And I noticed this one here, the old one, it's got USA 1 on the casting, the what is it, the Melling high volume as USA 3. But I thought this was really interesting. The old one has a little like spring cap, little washer there to help protect the spring, and the new one doesn't. It's just the spring right across the pin. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out. Shouldn't be a big deal. This pump should, hopefully, is a brand new pump, should work good. But yeah, we'll find out. So see you in the next one. So here's the nylon clip that holds the shafts together, and it finally broke completely in half. It did have one split in it, and I looked it up. Supposedly it's supposed to help keep the shafts together. Kind of like a coupling, I guess, so it's probably pretty important. I had considered taking a piece of conduit and hammering it on, you know, tack welding it on there so it'd be nice and tight, but not really worth my time. So yeah, I looked into it, and a lot of guys, apparently they go with this. It's basically the same thing. It's got a pin through it, and you know, piece of little pipe cut there that fits over it and keeps everything together. It's also a Melling product, so it should work just fine here. It should be the right size and everything. And yeah, let's double check that. That looks about right. So yeah, unfortunately, you definitely don't want to skimp on that. And for me, the parts store is an hour away. So that's like 2 hours plus the time you spend there. And yeah, lucky for me, O'Reilly's had one in stock, so I picked one up at O'Reilly's. So I got the pump at AutoZone through the mail, and just picked this up today. So yeah, the sun's actually going down pretty quick today. So I think I'm pretty much done for the day. I'm not really going to have time to get too much more done. But on the way to Kingman, the wife reminded me that I need to look at the bottom end and see if that's okay. So hopefully this wasn't all in vain. So yeah, it's really cool. I'm going to crawl under now while there's still a little bit of light and see how the bottom end is. Alrighty, hopefully you got a pretty good view of the bottom end here. And wish I would have grabbed a rag. Here's one. Yeah, it's a mess anyway. But anyway, here's the bottom end, which is really cool. You can see the bottom of the connecting rods and everything. And all I'm going to do, is pull on them, wiggle them. I felt, yeah. I think there's a little bit of play in this one. Oh, yeah, there's definitely a little bit of play. Did you hear that? Oh, as much as you would like to believe everything's tight, you know, it's really hard to... There it goes again. Pull down and push up, see if it clicks. No, pull down. There, it moved down, I felt it. And there. Well, that could be side to side. Hold on. I don't know. Yeah, I think that's just side to side. My bad. No, there's actually... Alright. I'm sure it's fine. There is a little bit of play in there, but you have to like move it off center, so... It's probably just fine, or the bearing's a little worn. But this motor doesn't knock. I don't really expect to find... Ow, that's tight. This, yeah. Yeah, I think the only play in this one is side to side. It is, yeah, it's just side to side. So, that's definitely good. Those are those two. But yeah, I'm just going to tug on these and see if I can find any play. That feels good. That feels good. Oh. Yeah, a lot of pistons. A lot of different ones to check. So I'm going to try, and I don't know how well the camera is going to get these front ones. I'm going to check these out. Oh man, that's super tight. That one's tight too. You can feel it's just side to side, which is good. You definitely want that in your connecting rods because they need the float. You know, there's a lot of people who like do put shims in there and everything, but the fact of the matter is it's gonna float wherever it wants. And it's a lot better to let it than to prevent it. So, yeah, that's actually a good thing if you have play side to side. It's absolutely... Yeah, this is, as far as I can tell, that first one tricked me. As far as I can tell, everything's good. And here's the front ones. These are the ones that definitely go bad. Side to side. Push up and pull down. I can see the whole motor moving and absolutely no play. This other one has also got side to side. Push up, pull down. Yep, this motor is nice and tight. She's in really good shape. Alrighty, I got the oil pump and I sprayed it down with some WD-40, and it's really hard, but I've pretty much managed to not get it dirty under here. And let's see, the shaft goes through this hole, and that goes that way, and this should slide up and in. Get this bolt out. Now the shaft has got a notch in it, so it's only going to want to go in one way. So you're probably, you're going to have to mess with it until you find out where that slot is, that it'll slide right up and in. There it goes. Awesome. That wasn't bad, and it's definitely tight against. So yeah, you're supposed to fill this thing up with oil. I didn't. I sprayed some WD-40 in there and spun the gears around. Ideally, if I was going to take more time doing this, I would actually take this housing apart and grease those gears. Wouldn't last real long, but it doesn't have to. And you'd be surprised. Some grease will stay tacky on a gear even under some harsh environments. So awesome, there it is. And I didn't bother welding that. This isn't a super high performance motor, which I don't really understand how they break, but apparently they do. And there's guys who make like brackets, weld a bracket here and stuff. So I'm really happy with that. It looks nice and level and everything. And as hard as that was pounded and pressed in, I'm pretty confident that that'll be fine just the way it is. Try and get this dirt off the end of the socket. At least, or push it in so it doesn't. Try to be really careful and not leave any grit on the outside of this hardware. So yeah, that's really cool. This is the only bolt. Wow, it's just about completely tight. I don't want to over tighten this, but at the same time I don't want it to leak. So that's probably the right amount of torque. Go a little more. There we go. So if you don't have a torque wrench and you're kind of worried about it, the rule of thumb is everything gets torqued down the same way. The bolt goes flat and then you go a quarter turn past that and that bolt should be properly torqued. I like to bounce on it a little bit with the same amount of force. And that's in there good. So, alright, I got the oil pump in. It really isn't that bad. So, yeah, I'm going to have to put this darn bolt back in this tube. But the oil pan can go back on now. So, one of the main reasons why I didn't bother filling this with oil is I'm going to be filling this back up with oil, and the oil level is going to be is going to be up here, and this thing is, oil's going to be like pretty much up into the tube, so there's nothing to really worry about. It's going to get oil immediately. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Everything else looks good down here. I'm really happy about that. And yeah, next thing I need to do is just put everything back together. Drop the motor, put the mounts back in. That's going to be super easy. Well, it should be super easy. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm really happy. This is finally coming along. I'm finally getting somewhere with it. So yeah, I'm pretty much done for the day. And yeah, I am really happy. So till next time, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.